Hello, everyone. Welcome into Post-Show Headlines. I'm Andrew Salciunas, back in my rightful chair with John Kincade.
What's that about there, control freak?
I don't know. I just feel more comfortable in this chair.
Really?
No, I really
Very
don't.
particular.
I really don't care. But this
That's
is how we do
very
the
strange.
show. Like if in our studio, in the
It
studio,
sort of is, yeah.
I look to my left, you look
It
to your
is.
right.
It is cool.
You threw me off yesterday. Whatever.
Mhm.
All right, 5 topics, 2 minutes each. We appreciate everybody who likes and subscribes to everything that's going on our YouTube page.
We do.
I found a new fun way to, I guess, intrigue our YouTube audience during the show today, throwing paper at the camera at the end during
When
the
you're
key
not
three.
annoying them.
During the
What?
a lot of times they annoy us,
They do sometimes.
but that's why we love each other.
That's part of an interpersonal relationship.
Yeah, exactly. All right, but for the people that watch post-show headlines, we appreciate it every single day. All right, question number 1.
Yes.
Eagles schedule. We obviously went through it. You did W's and L's. You got them at 12-5.
I didn't do W's and L's, but I did get them at 12-5.
Is there any team, either on the Eagles schedule or even if they're off the schedule, that worries you? Because we talk about gauntlets, we talk about tough stretches.
Yeah.
And forget stretch. Like you had a tough spot for the Eagles against the Packers, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think the Packers worry you as like a legit contender.
Oh no, they're a legit contender.
All right, who are some of the teams that you're going, all right, that's a team that I'm worried about come January. They're going to be a legitimate playoff team.
I think the Packers are a legitimate playoff team.
Okay.
And a legitimate contender. And the one thing that concerns me about that matchup is depending on what happens before that game, you don't want to be too close record-wise because of the fact that if you lose that game, the Packers could end up hosting you in January. I don't want to go to Lambeau in January. I want them coming to South Philly in January.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I worry about that. That's why you want to worry about that Rams game in September.
Rams,
We already see we want them coming to South Philadelphia in January, even though I wouldn't be concerned to play them in perfect conditions in the Dome. They've had great opportunity, even though it's not a dome out there in LA, perfect conditions out there. I always look at it as those games against contenders that are for the playoffs out there. Vikings. I don't want to go to Minnesota in the playoffs.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you have a better record
Unless
than
it's
them.
Super Bowl 52.
Lions. You don't want to go to you don't want to play in Detroit.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure. The Eagles have a lot of games this year where you're like, Tampa, you don't want to go to Tampa. So there's a lot of games this year where the Eagles are going to be like, got to win that one because you want to hold that tiebreaker in case.
Any teams AFC? Like I heard somebody say, who was it? I heard somebody say that this was the year. Joe Buck believes this is the year the Bills finally break through.
I think the Bills are going to be a really good team this year, and I think their schedule, I looked at it yesterday. If they're not the number 1 seed, it's their fault.
Yeah.
It's their
fault.
fault.
The thing is, like, I want to say that this is their year, but I feel like we've been saying that for 3 years now.
Yeah, I'm not picking Sean McDermott, as I say in a game of Connect 4. I don't think he's a master strategist. Most guys from his neighborhood aren't. But it's the way it works.
By the way, you didn't mention Niners.
No, I don't think. I think the Niners, though, look, as much as I know that Kyle Shanahan is a bad person, I know that he's a great football coach.
Yeah.
And he could have them back in the mix.
And their opponents aren't that tough this year. I didn't look at the schedule and how it fell, but their opponents weren't that tough
They
this
have a
year.
really bad back end of the schedule.
Okay.
Really good, favorable front end.
Okay, fair. Eagles camp. You have an Eagles training camp question.
Yeah, I do. The NFL does a lot of things right?
Yo.
We're always hearing about how, like, the NFL draft. Like, they're like, this was another highly successful NFL draft. And they were talking about how much money Green Bay made hosting the draft.
Right.
And how, Pittsburgh next year gets to host the draft, and then Washington's going to have the draft, and how much it's become a huge moneymaker.
It's huge. And remember how big it was here.
But you know what's crazy is, I read a piece, how much NFL teams have lost money now, where they used to bring revenue to cities where they held their training camps.
Yeah, Lehigh.
And like wherever teams held their training camps, now Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and things like that for the Redskins, Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
These teams not doing that anymore at these camps, how much they've lost it. I got to think that teams can find a way to go back to that, taking their camp somewhere.
Dude, it's never
and
gonna
making
happen.
it into a big moneymaker.
It's
but
not
it's like the
gonna
one
happen.
thing that they have found a way to say, nope, we don't want to make money off this anymore. They make money off everything now in the NFL, but it's the one thing where they go, nah, we're good. We don't need to make a dime
I think,
off this.
Player CBA stuff, they probably don't want to.
They don't want to travel.
Even though the Chiefs still do because Andy does it.
Right.
But once Andy's done, which, by the way, how many more years It could be soon,
I don't
right?
know. How much more bail money does he have to pay for his kids?
There's
I mean, seriously.
There's other teams that I don't know what the number is, but I'm going to guess that 90% of the teams don't leave for camp.
No, they don't. A lot of them, they don't.
Right? And a lot of
Dallas does. Dallas goes to Oxnard, goes to California, and does the big thing. But a lot of franchises don't even spend a dime.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Eagles don't have and the Eagles open practices, I'm going to be honest. I think the Eagles do so many great things but the fact that the Eagles have the open practices for the Eagles in training camp stink. They stink.
Yeah, because they don't want to show anything. And they're so scared that anything could be shown.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Competitive advantage, right? Nick Sirianni loves saying it. But, dude, I think the players want to be home. Yeah. They don't want to go live in a dorm room.
Yeah,
even though we thought that hardened up a player, like the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, doing what they do.
Well, they didn't win it because there's 32 teams in the NFL.
Right, but they can say, look, we don't need to do all that.
Some team is going to win the Super Bowl. You can't say it's because of that.
I got you. I just don't think it's going to happen anymore. I don't think it's ever going to get back to that. Like, look, the Sixers go to a freaking Aruba or the Bahamas to
You didn't ask
training
did
camp.
you?
No, I didn't.
I can't believe you cowarded on that one. I meant to bring that up on the air.
I've made it clear.
I said to you one thing I wanted you to tell me you were going to ask.
No, you had like a laundry list of things.
No, I didn't. I said there was one thing. The Sixers didn't deserve to go anywhere, and I even asked like a poll question to our audience on text. Where should the Sixers do training camp? Where do they deserve to do it? And people came up with some really creative answers.
Alcatraz, man.
Tinicum Marsh, right up there, like 420.
All right, you have a Phillies question. What do you got?
I got to be honest with it. And Dylan McTrollan and I were going back and forth about it this morning a little bit.
What else is new?
Is Brandon Marsh. There's a bus ticket in his future. There really is.
So you were all excited when he had like 2 hits when he came back.
No, because I'm fair. Because I'm fair. Yes. When he comes back and does something good, I acknowledge it. But he is absolutely wretched. He is a quad A player. He's a quad A player. Yes. And they have to acknowledge it. Weston Wilson looks at him and goes, oh my God, this guy's getting a salary and I have to go back and forth on buses. What's going on here? At some point, how are they going to finally make this move? How are they because I don't think anybody's taking him.
No, I think the hope was he gets a couple of good games under his belt and then they could try to move him for something.
His defense has gotten worse.
Dude,
I don't know how.
I've been saying it since they traded for him. He's not that good.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, the defense is regressing. I
fell in love with him because of the beard and the hair.
I don't understand how the defense is regressing, though.
The bubble gum seeds.
Let's pour seeds on each other. I guess this is the clean break.
He seems like a great guy.
Oh, he is a great guy.
Always be fair.
He is a great guy.
Because I know everybody has feelings.
No, he is a great guy.
He's a great dude.
But it's got to move on.
Yeah.
Got to move on.
It's either going to be Crawford later on this season.
Band-Aid's got to be ripped off, and it's got to be done.
Or it's going to be Cedric Mullins from the Orioles. And I've been saying that for like 4 years now. All right, question number 4. Okay. We tried to do W's and L's
you did a good version of it today.
Damn right.
I enjoyed that very much. I enjoyed that exercise.
You hate that. And you hate Mount Rushmore. You said that earlier.
Mount Rushmore is the laziest thing ever.
All right. What are some things in sports radio, which you have been doing for 25, 7, 8, 900 years?
Yeah, 100 years.
What are some of the things in sports radio that you hate the
32 years?
What are some of the things you hate the most? Because there's some things that have been going on for 32 years.
32 years, my first shift, is when I did my first shift. Things that I hate in sports radio?
Yes.
And where the call us with your sports take, and then, but we want to know, what is your favorite kid's cereal? So tell us, I like Fruit Loops. I like Apple Jacks. But when you're calling in, tell us your favorite kid's cereal.
Big Raisin Bran guy over here.
Really? That's your favorite kid's cereal?
With the granola in it? No, but like I loved eating that as a kid.
Wait a minute, Raisin Bran with granola? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Dude, yeah, with the sun, the one with the sun. What brand is that?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, dude.
Wait. My mom got told by the nuns that I was such a pest at school that I was not allowed to have sugar cereal. So, but Raisin Bran she would buy.
Yeah, you get Raisin Bran Crunch.
Oh, you don't know that. That has sugar in it.
Dude, man, this stuff wasn't
allowed to have it. I never even heard of it.
Stuff.
There's Raisin Bran with
Banging.
sugar in it now?
Yeah, man.
Okay, that's your generation.
Well, it has the granola bits in it.
Okay, we weren't allowed to have that.
Dude, that stuff was
Betty
banging,
wouldn't have
man.
bought
Oh, dude.
Betty wouldn't have bought
Kellogg's.
that. Oh my gosh, she bought like the shredded wheat, little shredded wheats, not the frosted.
Not the one with the
wheat.
strawberry.
No,
Right. Yeah.
shredded wheat.
Yeah, that's stuff.
Like she thought I was like irregular, like I was living in the home. So because the nuns at St. Annie's said he's too hard to control in class, he doesn't need sugar cereal. So that's stuff I didn't like.
Do we need
it's almost
nuns?
your favorite,
Do we need
seriously.
nuns to tell us that?
I don't like that. I don't like the. I hate pick segments. Hate where pick segments that go on for.
Yeah, because
hey,
we do it. We did it last year, and we made people money.
Our pick segment was
Quick.
2 minutes.
Yes.
A 2-minute pick. I'm talking about we're going to make our picks, and we're going on for 12 minutes. You've been a part of radio shows that have had 12-minute pick segments. That's what I hate. So those are some of the things that I cannot stand.
Okay, fair enough.
Pick segment. Anything where the callers or two take over the show.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Gotcha. All right. Lastly, so earlier I read you the article where there was an NYU professor that was saying his students were complaining that he found ways to word his questions and everything where ChatGPT is yet to be able to keep up with the questions, whatever.
Right.
Again, NYU, smart university.
Yeah.
And the kids were upset and saying you're taking away from our ability to learn, which you're not learning if you're using ChatGPT, but whatever. I'll ask you.
Yes.
What is something that you wish you had back in high school or college or early adult years that people have now? Like, I was not a good college student. I was here, right? Like I got hired here as a sophomore. So like I was here. Classes, I only did it for the degree, for the life experiences and job. I was here. I spent more time here than at my actual classes. I skipped a lot of classes. I wish I had ChatGPT and could just do stuff like that because I still did my homework. I still did everything I had to do because I didn't want to fail because then I wouldn't have gotten my degree. But I put very bare minimum work in because I was more focused here. And I'm glad I did that because 11 years later, here I am.
Sure.
What is something that people have today that you wish you had?
Okay. This is the easiest question in the world you're asking me.
Cell phone.
No.
Air conditioning.
No. The internet.
Alcohol.
The internet.
Because you're from the Prohibition.
You moron.
No.
The internet.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't have the internet to do research.
Yeah, it's kind of easy.
We don't have the internet.
Yeah.
I actually had to go to the library.
Wow, what a
We had to do, when you did research papers.
loser.
When you did research, no.
Only nerds go to the library.
Dude. Did you ever watch like The Breakfast Club and things like that?
Yes.
That's where you actually, because in our day, guys didn't sit on their phones and swipe right because they can't talk to girls.
Hey.
You actually got to go
Didn't
talk
have
to
to
girls.
do that, baby. I'm all man here.
You actually got to talk to girls. You actually would go over, and if you went to the
Never
library,
had a dating app in my life.
if you went to the library, you might find a pretty girl to go sit next to you
Yeah.
or chat up.
Yeah.
Or you got it, but you had to go to the library.
So is that how you met Christina?
I hated it. I hated the fact that when I look at like now how you can research anything you want to research
real quick
and be able to do it. My wife is a YouTube freak for being able to. Oh, I'm not going to call a plumber.
Yeah, I'll fix it myself.
I will try. No, I do not. She has fixed drain traps.
Yeah.
She has fixed. She has installed things by learning how to do it on YouTube.
Wait, so hold on. Now I'm curious.
I do not.
How long did like homework take?
It took a lot. Like I would go to the. There's a library over in Marple Township.
See, even though I act like I'm 60, there is still a 30-year-old.
Right, there is. There's a big gap.
There's a 30-year gap between
the two.
of us.
Where you go. I would have to go to the Marple Library.
Yeah.
If I had a term paper, which we used to call them term papers.
Yeah.
Or a research paper to do.
You had to find.
I would have to go to the library to research.
You had to probably talk to the librarian to find the book.
No, it wasn't that bad. But you had to go through the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah, Dewey.
To find it, pull out the thing and find it. Then you'd have to go find the book. Then you'd have to then go to the copy machine, copy pages out of it if you wanted to take it at home. It was miserable.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Like, it was hard. It was hard work. But I can tell you is, too, ADD John.
Yeah.
We're done. Oh, there is Bobby McCarthy. There's Nicky Saratano. There's Tom Hunt. There's all the kids from the neighborhood. So you don't know who you're going to run into the library to.
Right.
Then I'm going to be distracted.
Okay.
Then I'm not going to get as much work done as I had to get done.
Sorry. I'm not trying to make you feel
so it was
old or make it seem like I think you're older than what you actually are.
No, it doesn't. It's what it was. It was like, it's a way that it's there is where...
No, but I have another question.
Yes, go on.
When did it start where, like, newspapers started... Because I know libraries used to have old newspaper clippings on, like, a digital
they have them on digital
screen.
That was when I was...
But that was when you were a kid,
when we were
right?
kids.
Okay.
We could go back and look at the microfiche.
Yeah, okay.
They would call it microfiche.
Yeah.
So you would go and you would research on a master microfiche.
Yeah, it was a huge... Yeah, it was huge.
And you go,
I remember. I've seen one before.
Big screen. And you would say, I'm looking for research on Andrew Salciunas. And you'd be looking through the S's.
Yeah.
And you'd see Andrew Salciunas, blah, blah, blah.
Because now you could just Google a name and a newspaper
and pictures would come up.
And boom, it's there.
Like that. So I'd have to go then, you'd have to fish through the microfiche and go find pictures of Andrew Salciunas' childhood home, pictures of research. Here's articles of Andrew Salciunas. It was brutal.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
It was brutal. Like, you had to, like, it was work. I guess that wasn't easy. You really had to work. It was like, it's terrible. Like, it's terrible.
Yeah,
like, the amount of work that went into it. It sucked.
Man.
So it's the way it works.
We got it easy these days. All right, everybody have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow, listeners sending
questions, and they're good tomorrow, and they're odd.
They're always good.
They're always odd. They're odd tomorrow.
All right, well, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Like, subscribe. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Hey, guys. Andrew Salciunas from Kincade and Salciunas. Thank you for checking out all of our stuff on YouTube. Make sure you click, like, subscribe on everything that you see. And, of course, you can see everything from our YouTube feed. Full shows, interviews, when John's being an idiot, which is like 15 times a day. So make sure you check out all of our stuff on YouTube. We appreciate it.